We're gonna get started with the introduction to the new UFO hunting script in Python. There's two scripts that I use, and the first one is this one, which stores images into a database, and is the image loader. So to launch it manually, you can do Python R7 image loader, and it will do the same thing. I have it in a batch file, but it runs. You can set up how many images are loaded. I try to load around 130 at a time or 150. Let's see, probably 150. Try to load 150 at a time, and then it counts the records. If there is more than 5,000 records, I have it set up to stop, but you can change those numbers. It just keeps the database of the images to a certain size. And so that's the first script. The second script is this one, which it reads the images from the database, and you can run multiple instances. Like I'm running it here, and I'm running it here, and if it finds something, it will use llama to confirm the detections. And so let's take a look to the configuration file. The new version is called the R7 INI because it uses an INI. And let's look at the INI file. So the first is the model, maximum images processed at each time. This would use more or less memory. The bigger, the more memory it uses because it loads all the images into memory. The URL of the llama client, you have to modify this. Full, crop, or hidden. There is I have it hidden. You don't see this what is being captured, but you can show the crop version. If you use the crop version, then you have to use these parameters, which are tricky. If you use you can display full and you can hide it. But if you're gonna crop the image because there's too much trees like here, like I do, then you have to do crop image one. If you know, you just don't forget about these parameters. You don't care about them. You set up to 0 and you have open sky. You just put it here, 0, and uh, that's pretty much it. This one is the query, and this query here, I used to run it for a long time. It's not very efficient. This one is the optimized query that I just got a new one, and basically it's probably like the best query to get UFOs. And then the cap source here, if it's uh if it's a RTSP camera, you gotta put a URL. If it's a USB device, you put 0, 1, 2, whatever the USB camera device is. And those are the basics of the UFO hunting script. If you want to look a little bit at the code, the image loader is just uses the trig database function, not used, not necessary, but it can be used if if there is an idea to do it. Count the rows in the SQL table. These ones were mostly written by AI. Record to SQLite. This is the it adds the record to the database. Yeah, here we find record to SQL database. So yeah, that's and then here's what we call a record to SQLite. here. So it's not the fastest, right? Because it actually does each time it does this, it records a 150 images to the database each time. So it's kind of efficient, I guess. And yeah, if it says here if it's too many records, it waits 10 seconds. And all right, so we're gonna look at the code of the other one. The other one is the R7 INI, and it counts the rows in the database, gets the first image to process. Always get the first image and then deletes it from the database. The if llama gives you a weird answer, it uses this to select the last yes. If there's no on yes in the answer, it selects the last yes. So you always get a yes or a no. This one, count the number of drones. This is a function that I found to count circles in OpenCV that, you know, kind of works when it's snowing stuff. These are the global cascades defined to use by everybody, global variables. Not the best form, but it works. This is the function for detecting UFOs with hard data sets. And then it reads the config here, reads the files, and starts going through the loop where it goes through the images. Uh, make sure that only one instance is using the file, retrieving the data, starts retrieving images. Crop the image here in case it's too big and there's trees around. That's one of the settings, the crop setting. If you have open sky, you don't need that. Here it searches, it starts the hard data set test in threads and it enters four at a time, five tests at a time to make it faster. And here's where it goes and asks Olama uh, on the images that he captured to see if they were UFOs or not. And that's pretty much the whole script. Yeah, there's some keys here that I used to use, but I don't, for theming, I don't use them anymore. I don't think they work, but that's pretty much it. The Python UFO hunting script. At the end of the day, you're gonna see here there's JPEGs. These are images of matches, and then there's probably MP4s. There's no MP4, so it means it hasn't caught anything. But sometimes you get MP4s like this, and these are potential matches. All right, start UFO hunting with Python, guys.